All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Let's Talk Rockets episode number 28 here. It is Thursday, June 29th, which means free agency is one night of slumber away. You wake up tomorrow and, well, technically it doesn't begin till 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we have free agency officially beginning on July 1st, which it's just crazy that July 1st is Saturday. That's 2 days from now. It's July. All right. Well, the Rockets rumors and the Rockets news are buzzing, boys and girls. We have Kyle Kuzma news because why not? We have Freddie Double V news because it's just another day, and of course there's going to be that. We have technically James Harden news because, of course. And then we also have some Dillon Brooks news. I want to talk a little bit about Dante DiVincenzo. I want to talk a little bit about Brook Lopez. Sam Vecini said something very interesting to me. He thought it would be very disrespectful to Alperen Şengün if the Rockets were to go out and acquire Brook Lopez via free agency. So we're going to discuss why I fully agree with him. Yeah, that's it. So hit that like button, hit that sub button, drop some comments down below. Once again, guys, first off, let's try and get this live stream to 50 likes here today. We're trying to hit 3,000 subs by the start of Summer League. Just not possible. But anyways, we're still, I'm really trying to hammer home early on in these that we're live. Every episode is always going to be on Apple Podcasts, and it's always going to be on Spotify Podcasts as well. Right after the show ends, like 30 minutes after the show ends on YouTube, we're live on podcast form. So if you ever miss an episode, I know how annoying it can be to, listen to crap on YouTube if you don't have YouTube Premium or whatever the hell it's called. So, yeah, let's get into it. Nothing crazy. Let's see in order. James Harden reportedly didn't like these. Let's just pull this up. Jalen Green going on that podcast with Paul Torn Shoulder George. I guess Harden reportedly didn't like these answers from Jalen Green about hindering his development. It can hurt and help at the same time. I didn't watch the podcast, so I don't really know what's going on there. We'll start from the top. This is breaking news reportedly from Chris B. Haynes, who's very respected journalist in the basketball world. And the Houston Rockets are emerging as a strong landing spot for Kyle Kuzma. Pretty crazy, man. I don't really like this, and it's for a multitude of different reasons. I like Kyle Kuzma a lot. I think Washington's best route is to actually max him. I think that they should max him. I think he would be good for, developing your young players. Washington's a very interesting spot right now. And if they're willing to pay Kyle Kuzma, man, just take that money. All of last season, I thought Kuz would go back to LA, but I don't think that's going to happen anymore. I don't think LA should do that. But, Houston has $47 million that we got to spend. We got over $60 million or about $60 million in cap space. And I just don't like the Kyle Kuzma fit. I think Dillon Brooks, which we'll talk about here in just a second, I think the Dillon Brooks fit is exponentially better than Kuz. Kuz is more of a power forward, and he doesn't provide much on defense. So, if we didn't have maybe like Jabari Smith, or if we didn't have Cam Whitmore, or, KJ Martin even, which we'll get into in a second, maybe. But Kyle Kuzma defensively, there's not much there. And that's what Ime Udoka wants. That's what the Houston Rockets want. However, at the same time, Kuzma can get a bucket, and in Houston, he would, I think, offensively would be perfectly fine. Kuzma can go to any team he wants offensively and be perfectly fine no matter what. But defensively, and it's a combination of what he is on defense and then the contract length. Kyle Kuzma, assumingly, wants a max deal, or he wants close to a max deal. He's going to want 4 years, as he should take that deal, as he should want that deal. And for me, Houston signing any player, especially, a non-defensive athlete or known defensive athlete for 4 years, doesn't make much sense to me at all. What's up, Matt? I don't think we're pushing for Lopez as much seems to be the case. We'll talk about that in a second. We need to extend KJ Martin's contract and pay that man from Eric. We got Baca. Rockets want to sign everybody. That's pretty much the way it feels. We have a two-parter here from Mr. Bordeaux. I think that might be it as far as tweets I have ready to go. So here's the first tweet, and we talked about this on my show today. Fred VanVleet and Dillon Brooks are expected to be the Rockets by Friday via the Stein line. Their projected offers for Eddie Double V, which we talked about yesterday, $83.6 million. I was not a fan of this. I'm still like relatively indifferent to it. I still am going by the fact that next Friday, when the Rockets play our first Summer League game, I'm pretty sure we're going to see Amin Thompson and be like, dude, this dude just needs to play. But really quickly, Dillon Brooks, 2-year, $28 to $32 million contract, $14 to $16 million for Dillon Brooks for only 2 years is definitely something I would do. I think a guy like Ime Udoka is quite perfect for getting the most out of Dillon Brooks. Dillon Brooks is he's a real MF, and he's like it. I'm imagining if he's on your basketball team, you probably like the guy a lot, but obviously if he's not, then you don't probably adore him. Kind of seems a little like a DB at times out there on the court. But here is what our projected top 10 players would look like if they were to actually, in about a day, in 26 hours from now, we'll probably hear that the Rockets Fred plans on signing with the Rockets, and so does Dillon Brooks. Here's what our starting lineup would look like. Fred VanVleet, Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, Jabari Smith Jr., Alperen Şengün, and then off of the bench, Amin Thompson, Kevin Porter Jr., Cam Whitmore, Tari Eason, and then a new center. And we're going to get into some new centers here. Now, something really interesting to note, KJ Martin Jr.'s name is not on this list. And I'm very curious if any tweets are talking about that, because probably traded, even if he isn't, he is seemingly the odd man out in the future. So somebody just said we need to pay him. Eric said we need to pay him. It's not looking very likely. However, the Houston Rockets are picking up his $1.9 million team option for this upcoming season. A little bit of an interesting role player, double-digit points, can shoot three, freaky athlete, a lot of 3-and-D potential there. We've been talking KJ Martin trades for a while now. Honestly, actually a couple of years. I've still been going by the fact that he's still on the roster. He's escaped all these trade rumors for so long, and he's still on the roster. So wouldn't you think the Rockets see something there? That's right. But I don't really know what's going on with KJ, but he will be on the Houston Rockets as far as right now next season, or we got his contract. So I love a Draymond Green trade. He's a true leader. There's a couple of issues with this. Dre will be on Golden State next season, but even if he's not, I would imagine if Draymond Green goes elsewhere, it would be in a sign and trade. And I don't know, man. The thing is, all the rumors with Draymond Green going to all these teams is they're all Western Conference teams. So, take Portland, for example. They do a sign and trade to get Dre on over. Portland would give, whatever package they could muster up. And at that point, it'd be like, well, if you're the Warriors, why am I giving him to a competitor in my conference? So I would view Dre as extremely unlikely. And yes, as Matt is pointing out here, Mr. Dacian Nix is no longer with the Houston Rockets. They declined his option, the contract, and he is officially off the Houston Rockets roster, which is a good day. And it's still pretty annoying, still pretty frustrating that Ty Washington Jr. saw pretty much nothing last year, and we just ran with the Dacian Nix train right into the ground. We it just literally ran into a wall in the ground in the center of Earth. And Ty was feasting in the G League when he got sent down there. Whenever Ty was there, would he have 53 that one game? Ty Washington Jr. was like an MVP freaking baller in the G League. And unfortunately, we rolled with Dacian Nix. So kind of shitty. But, that is what it is. Let's take a look at Real GM and let's see what we have. And then if we got nothing going on, this is not Rockets news, but really interesting. Kyrie's to meet with the Suns tomorrow, like at the start. Just a little interesting to me. Kyrie has been rumored to Houston. James Harden opt-in and trade scenario floated. We got an article here. Not a big article guy. But yeah, James Harden's looking like he's gone as far as the possibilities to Houston, which is good. And I keep saying I have met very little Rocket fans, especially that live in Houston, that want James Harden back. And it's not, I'm pretty sure a lot of Rocket fans like myself would like the idea of Harden coming back is cool. But, once we get into the nitty gritty, the pork and beans or potatoes and whatever, what's the saying? The meat and potatoes of it. It's like, not a great fit. Oh, here we go. David, we need a big guy. Şengün and Boban, not enough. Boban is a free agent. Would imagine he's not with Houston next season, but you never know. I mean, great veteran guy just to have on your roster. I don't know if we have. It's going to be interesting to see how many like just loose roster spots we have, because I'm imagining, as it is already before free agencies technically began, that roster spots are going to be pretty limited next season. I think we should do a couple of small signings to get to 41 million. I believe it's 47 million, but tomato, because I think that's how much you have to spend. And then all that money comes back next year for the betting free agents. I talked about this on the show today. OKC, I don't know if it was last year or the year before it. Like this has been implemented for, a handful of years now. OKC, I can't remember if it was last year or whatever year it was, but basically OKC, they didn't reach. And this is also, by the way, this has to be done by the end of the season. So Houston theoretically could sign, let's say we only get Fred or we only get Dillon. Well, Houston would be a name. It would be a team to watch to acquire a fatty contract at the trade deadline, just to clear the books, because the books have to be in by the end of the regular season. When the regular season ends, it doesn't have to be by the start or the end of free agency or the end of off season, whatever it is. It's the end of the next year or this upcoming basketball season. So something interesting to keep in mind. But OKC did this. And they had $20 million left. I think they paid Shea, $5 or whatever it was, and then the rest gets handed out to the rest of the roster. So you don't need to pay $47 million, and then it's like you're kicked out of the NBA. Your team's no longer in the association. It's just this has been a thing, and it's pretty dumb to me. But it is what it is. The new CBA dropped this morning, and they have one of the things in it is one of the requirements is that all NBA draft guys have to go to the draft combine, which is a really dumb idea, in my opinion. But it's not here or there. These fucking gnats love. I got a lamp right here. You guys can't see it. There's a lamp right here. These fucking gnats. I always see these commercials of these things you put in the wall, and then the bugs go into it and die. Which sounds morbid, but I need to pay attention to the next commercial I see. But yeah, Tank Commander Dacian Nix is gone. What's up, Deverick? Hot Jackson, great comment. Love your NBA contents. I love making room for KJ Martin Jr. He's a spark plug off the bench or start and keep it up. So yeah, I'm going to assume Deverick's not a huge fan of this proposed 10-man roster on the screen next season. And I would imagine, judging from what's on the screen here from Bordeaux, I would imagine that if KJ's on the roster at the start of the season, I mean, obviously, Ime's philosophy and the philosophy should always be the best players are going to play. Cam Whitmore theoretically could beat KJ Martin Jr.'s for the bench 3 or for a bench rotational spot. But I would imagine if they went head to head, it would be KJ over Cam Whitmore next season. I don't really want like a Cam Whitmore in a role of crap. Why can't I think of the freaking name right now? Josh Christopher. I know different positions, but that's like a deep, dark concern for me, is that Cam Whitmore gets pushed into a Josh Christopher role. However, with that being said, Josh Christopher in his rookie season played 73 games. He played 73 games. So you might see more Cam Whitmore towards the second half of the season. Why do we randomly need Kyle Kuzma too, unless we are trading for a guy or two to make roster space and free up playing time? Yeah. It doesn't – Kuzma to the Rockets fit-wise – it doesn't make much sense. He's going to want a lot of money, which I think he should be paid a lot of money. But with that being said, Fred's contract's going to be 2 years. Dylan Brooks' contract's going to be 2 years. Any guy we get, his contract's going to be 2 years. There's very little players in free agency right now that I would pay for more than 2 years. And one of them is Dante DiVincenzo. Like Dante DiVincenzo, $3 million. 2-year contract and then a team option on the third year is something I would totally do for a guy like Dante DiVincenzo. I think he's going to end up a Knick. The Warriors should do all they can to pay him some money. It's not going to command a huge contract. I'm going to make a video. I tweeted about it yesterday. My Twitter's down below in the bio. Just like we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify Podcasts, by the way. We have 20 total listens, which is exciting. But I tweeted about Dante DiVincenzo yesterday. A lot of Rocket fans are down for it. Kuz can play small forward. Not where I would want him on any team. The last time he played small forward was with the Los Angeles Lakers, and he put up 13 that season. I believe he started about half of the games for the Lakers that year too. Boban's a likable guy. Boban's not a guy I would want playing like as a backup center. I'd just 15th man on the roster. If we have a spot to spare, it's similar to like a Derrick Rose move. I don't want Derrick Rose. But I've seen Derrick Rose's name floated around there in Rocket rumors saying let's pick this guy up just for veteran leadership. But at that point, if we're actually going to get Freddie, that's pretty pointless. I think KPJ's wanted to take the 6-man role. What's up, Mike? I do too. I mean, it's not going to come down. It's not up to him, which is the good news. But I would agree. I think he thrives in a 6-man role. I've seen several people say that he could beat Jalen Green for the starting 2 spot, which I don't think happens. I don't think that's what should happen. I actually don't really see that happening at all, but I guess theoretically it could happen. Theoretically, Cam Whitmore could be our starting 4 over Jabari, or I know don't really want Cam at the 4, but hopefully you get what I'm saying. Locker room guy. All right, Darren says, geez, man, that's a bad offseason. Not a fan of this offseason, Darren. We signed Kyrie Irving, which I'm a fan of. I'll take Kyrie Irving, man. I'll take him any day of the week. The thing with Kyrie is a 2-year deal is not something he's going to take. So if we didn't draft Amen Thompson, we probably have a little bit of a different convo going on right now. But, I mean, I don't see Kyrie Irving accepting a 2-year contract. You'd have to go 4 years. It's 31. There's 31 people in here. Bad comparison, but like 4-year contract for a 31-year-old, kind of chilling there. Let's take a look at free agency, because one thing I saw today that we talked about at the beginning of the show was Sam Vecini, who's I think he's an athletic writer for sorry, I thought we had Rocket news here. It's just random tweets. Bruce Brown to the Lakers. Wow, that could happen. Jeez. And now the train of thought is currently gone. He was saying, Sam Vecini was saying that if he was Alperen Şengün and the Rockets signed Brook Lopez, he would be a little pissed off. And I agree with him. I think Şengün should be given the keys. for the last season, man. Give it one more year of Şengün because, Bruno beat him out in camp last year. They thought Bruno was the better option to start the season, and then Bruno got injured in our home opener. But, Brook at the 5, Şengün at the 4, I get it. I still think Brook ends up in Milwaukee, but I don't really – not a huge fan of that. And then, Cam Johnson to me doesn't make much sense. I don't – like Cam had a good playoffs regular season in the last 21, 22 games with the Nets. He averaged 16.4 a game, somewhere around that, maybe 16.6, 16 something. He's already 27. I don't think his ceiling's very high. I just don't see him being a star player. I think Brooklyn's the best fit for him, but I just, Cam Johnson, another 4-year contract there. I'm more enticed with Jabari, Tari, Cam on our roster, and KJ as well. And I guess probably Dillon Brooks now, but having Dillon Brooks and Cam Johnson seems a little redundant there. I think KPJ makes sense to move back to guard. Freddie obviously starts. Amon's the backup point. KPJ is the backup guard. Cam and Tari battle it out to start at small forward. Yep. As Robot's saying here, although now it's looking like Dillon Brooks is just going to have that 3 spot. I don't think Dillon Brooks would want to come off of the bench. I know, once again, not up to him. But defensively, he offers you a little bit. He offers you too much on defense that I would think he would be a bench player on the Rockets. I'm scared of trading players you use to have play harder against their former team. So like a KJ breakout, trade KJ to the Heat and he drops 54. We're really guard heavy right now. What do you think about trading in a package of either Ty Washington, Daishen Nix? Daishen Nix just got waived today or released. So Daishen Nix is no longer on the Houston Rockets. We talked about Jacob yesterday and Kuzma and KJ, and we've been talking about it for a while now. The only one out of those 3, not even what you said, that has trade value is KJ Martin Jr. Ty, I would imagine, has no trade value as well. But yeah, unfortunate for Jacob and Kuzma, there's probably nothing there. As far as it would be more just cutting down the roster at that point, which they're probably waiting for at least the first or second day of free agency to conclude until they start getting into Kuzma probably won't play and he'll probably be our 14th guy. So, same with Jacob. Let's try and get these guys in a package, maybe throw in KJ in a second round pick or future first. I don't know. But I would imagine any trade involving Jacob, Kuzma, or KJ is mainly a roster clearing move. Connor Bedard, I can't believe he's 17 years old. I'm a Blackhawks fan. I'm in Chicago. Hawks had a great draft. I liked Oliver Moore a lot too. But it's kind of crazy. Like all these hockey players getting drafted, or the Hawks' second pick in the first round got drafted, and it's like, oh yeah, he's playing for Minnesota next year. Like, oh shit, these guys are like 17. I like Brooks for his defensive effort. If Cam could pick up half what Brooks is defensively, he'd be a better version of him. Let me get back to what I was going to do here. We're just going to take a look at some centers. I feel like I do this every show, and I've never found a center where it's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. What do you think about bringing in a backup center like TB? I don't like Thomas Bryant. My buddy is a huge Laker fan, so I've watched so many Laker games. Obviously, I cover basketball, so I watch a lot of Laker games in general this past year. I think it's, he didn't have a role in the postseason for Denver, and I think that's that's like the move. And I think there's a good reason that the Lakers traded him, and he didn't have, a playoff role. Thomas Bryant, not very big on him. Jackson Hayes is interesting. I would imagine he's a restricted free agent. I'm pretty surprised he's still on New Orleans. What's up, Noah? I like the idea of Jackson Hayes, young guy. Hasn't really gotten I mean, he's battled some injuries. Yeah, I'm pretty indifferent. But Matt, is Bedard going to play for the Hawks next season? I would imagine no, right? Yeah, no, I think Brooks is probably a Rocket here. But all right, Brooke Lopez kind of decided no. Jakob Poeltl should be back with Toronto, but regardless, no. Christian Wood definitely not. Mason Plumlee would be all right with it. I'd still prefer a floor stretching big as our backup center, but Plumlee's a dog. Dwight Powell talked about it a couple of times. I think Dwight Powell is probably more realistic than Plumlee. I think Plumlee should go back to LA. Dwight Powell, not really sure what's going on there. I don't know how the Andre Drummond news today wasn't tampering, but I guess it's not. Evidently, Andre Drummond plans to sign with Dallas. Still don't know how that's not tampering, but whatever. Just a frustrated Bulls guy because we got banged for tampering with Lonzo. But yeah, there's Drummy. There's TB. Mike Muscala. Drew Eubanks. No. Jock Landale should be back with Phoenix. Bismack. Nope. Maytu. Nope. Kevin Love. Nope. Blake Griffin? Nope. Mo Wagner. What's Mo Wagner's 3? I really don't think Mo Wagner is a bad basketball player at all. I think 31.3% this past season. How do you guys think about Mo Wagner? Just a bench big. Where's that 3? Career 32% three-point shooter. Let me know what you guys think about Wagner down below. Bedard's probably playing right away. Let's go. No, Brooke Lopez didn't say no to the Rockets, but he should. I mean, just go back to Milwaukee, man. Oh, cool. All right, sweet. Yeah, Jayshawn Tate could be the other guy instead of KJ Martin Jr. You could throw in Jayshawn Tate for sure. Willie's a free agent. I don't think Ty gets dealt though. I don't think Ty should get dealt. That's proven to be good. We keep taking chances on random centers. Oh, come on, Mike. You don't like – Mike doesn't want to bring back Justin Patton, the best Rockets center of all time. Mike, what center do you want? Unfortunately, Swaggy, I would love Drummond back in Chicago, but looks like he's headed to Dallas. Tampering, but I guess not. Paul Reed, love Paul Reed. Jackson Hayes, both restricted. Cody Zeller, no. Trez, I saw one guy say get Trez. Udoka. God, I think it's getting dicey. It's getting dicey down here. Jay Huff was a freaking hooper for what's Washington's G League affiliate's name? Go-Go? Is it Go-Go? Jay Huff was a playoff legend in the G League this year. Did they win? Wizards might have won the G League playoffs. And this is just way too dicey, man. Yeah, center's just not looking good, guys. Oh, did Drummond really accept it? What? This is one of those. This is why it's difficult to listen to what people are reporting these days. Wait, what? No. Yeah. Okay, Bulls expected to lose Andre Drummond to Mavs. I don't believe he accepted his option. I don't think he has. New report has Andre Drummond declining player option. Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm aware, he's going back or he's going to Dallas. I think Ty should go. Oh, I don't. I think you meant. Or I think there should be a don't in there. So yeah, big man. Big man's tough, man. I don't think there's any power forwards on here that would be cool playing center that I'd want playing center. I'd love PJ. He's not a center, but play some center. But I mean, my Rocket center is Alperen Şengün. So I just want a bench guy. Let's look up Dwight Powell. Dwight Powell, I feel like just can't stay healthy. Oh, he played 76 games. Never mind. He played 82 last year. What the hell am I talking about? No shot on him whatsoever. He used to take a 3 a game, but took 0.1 last year. Didn't make a single 3 last year. Not a crazy rim protector. So maybe Dwight Powell's not the guy. That guy, career blocks per game, 0.5. Let's look at. I hate looking at per 36, but per 36, he's still averaging only 0.9 blocks a game. Yeah. What's up, Arturo? Nice to see you, man. Let Ty be the MJ of the G League. Woj just tweeted that they exercised his contract. What? Dude, that'd be a curveball if Andre Drummond is actually going back. Wow. You're right. Andre Drummond has exercised his $3.36 million option to return to the Chicago Bulls. What? So here's just a good example of don't listen to reports right now. All morning it was Drummond's going to Dallas. Every Bulls fan was saying tampering. How's that not tampering? And damn, he's not coming back. What's the validity with Brooks and Freddie coming? I still, man, my heart still thinks Fred's going to the Toronto Raptors. If I'm the Raptors, man, just sign Freddie to a 4-year deal, $100 million, $110 if you have to, $20 is way too much, but they might have to do it, and just trade for Norman Powell and run it back. And if not, I guess I'll take Fred. Here's something interesting I've been seeing a little bit. Markelle Fultz. You know, you have these freak out like Markelle Fultz might be the best college prospect I've ever seen. I remember watching Markelle Fultz in my senior year of high school. I remember watching like his highlights of every game, every day, whenever he would play. I remember watching it in like lit class. And a dude was a stud, but he couldn't shoot. But he can finish. And you don't draft Markelle Fultz and put him on the bench for player development, right? You draft Markelle Fultz because you're like, this dude could be a superstar. He needs to play. Why is it different for Amin? I still want Amin to start, man. I wish free agency began after the summer league. But then my brain tells me, what are the chances Amin Thompson shoots over, like, and this is probably generous, 32% from downtown next season, probably pretty low. What are the chances he shoots 30% from downtown? I'm not sure. Lakers just waived Mo Bamba. Yeah. I think Mo Bamba would be a lot better than other options. Mo Bamba can shoot. He can stretch and he can block. So I don't mind that idea. I saw some Bulls rumors about that, but I would imagine with Drummond and Vooch back, that's done. Let's take a look at Amin's. Let's take a look at these statistics to a deeper metric. Took 2.7 threes per game. Let's pull this on the screen. Arturo, we mentioned Kuz earlier. Just a quick breakdown. He's going to want too many years on his contract, which turns me off of it with his lack of defensive ability. All right, Romeo wouldn't mind Mo Wagner. I wouldn't either. Austin Reeves, pretty great fit on any basketball team. Also a guy who's going to want 4 years and should take a 4-year contract. It's going to be at least $80 million. Might stretch to 100. It's going to be between $80 to $100 million for 4 years. So do with that as you will, but chilling. So I think one thing I've really came across on today's show is Mo Wagner and Mo Bamba. Give me a Mo. Mo Mo's. Give me Mo Mo's. All right. Here are Amin Thompson's stats from last season. Just a really difficult. It was like evaluating Jalen Green. Like, it's just very difficult. Look at that, 2.4 steals a night, 28 minutes, 2.4 steals, man. The guy's a defensive monster. 2.73, a 23% clip. The good news, guys, shooting can be fixed. All right. I don't buy into the fact that Amin Thompson will never have a consistent three. I don't buy that for anybody. I think shooting mechanics can be fixed. And I think Ben Sullivan is perfect. I think he's a great coach for Houston. And I don't think Amin will be shooting 30-something next year. But I think career-wise, I think his three-pointer should be fine. I don't think he's going to be a guy you're going to be fully comfortable leaving open, hopefully. But, yeah, I mean, Austin's a good fit everywhere. Give us a one Mo. Give me one Mo, man. All right, guys. That's it for today. Might stream later tonight. Who knows? But I want to start getting some free agent videos out for you guys. Just kind of put it in a video of specific players. I think I'm going to start with Dante. Maybe I'll start with Fred, though, because of these news. However, that's it for today, man. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily Houston Rockets content. Once again, this episode will be live on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts probably within the next hour or so. Follow my Twitter down below, but all the links to the podcast are there. And I appreciate y'all taking time out of your beautiful Thursday afternoon to talk Rockets with me. And, yeah, man, we might go live later because it's free agency eve. And it's a good time to be a Rocket fan right now. So, peace. Appreciate y'all.